Happy New Year. Welcome 2025 and welcome to the 12th Horseshoe podcast presented by Proven Italian Eatery in Moonachie, New Jersey. Welcome to your Week 17 recap. Jack Rizzo, Elijah White, Happy New Year and welcome to the show. We're recapping Week 17 in the NFL, and that's it. No Thursday Night Football to predict. We have a whole Prediction Friday show on Friday. Time to be announced, probably 2:30, but we will let you know about the time sooner or later. We cannot wait to bring you more content here in 2025. Jack, Happy New Year. How are you doing today?
Happy New Year, Eli. Doing pretty good today. Happy New Year, everyone. Hope everyone enjoyed their holidays and want to offer our prayers for those down in New Orleans about what happened earlier today. That was a travesty what happened. So hopefully everyone's doing okay down there, and we offer our prayers and condolences.
Absolutely, prayers are up as always, and as we mentioned, the Sugar Bowl that was supposed to play tonight will now be moved to 3:00 tomorrow.
I hope nobody's watching the Rose Bowl unless you're an Ohio State fan.
Yeah, I was watching that. I really thought Oregon's gonna come back, but nope. 31 points up.
The first game though today, that was a great game.
It was not supposed to be a good game. Like the way it was like at the first half, and then all of a sudden it just woke up.
Yep.
Yeah, this was supposed to be the marquee game, the Rose Bowl, and disappointing so far.
Very disappointing.
Yeah, sent the wrong teams to the Rose Bowl. I was disappointed. I really thought Oregon would go far. Not this year. All right, back to the NFL. That's what we're here to talk about. We'll recap Week 17. Can you believe we're a week late? We're recapping these games because we are for our games that happened last week on Wednesday on Netflix. Well, you didn't miss much because the Wednesday and Thursday games were boring because we're going to start off with the Chiefs as they defeated the Steelers 29-10. Steelers prove once again they cannot beat a good team. The Chiefs prove, well, that they are the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, finally, the Chiefs were able to win a game by more than one score. This was not really a game. Really never was. 13-0 early. Pittsburgh never really was in this game. The Chiefs are 15-1. They have clinched the top seed in the AFC, so most of their starters will not play next week. But I still think they're going to be competitive, though, in their game against the Denver Broncos. As for the Steelers, they play on Saturday this week against Cincinnati. Pittsburgh's in the playoffs either way, but with this loss, they no longer control their own destiny to win the AFC North.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Texans, they lose a horrible one. Final score 31-2. 2 points they scored. As we know, the Texans had a bad injury with Tank Dell last week. Now they could only put up a safety, not even a field goal kick. And remember, they have the top seed, and they're in the playoffs right now for the AFC South. So this is pretty scary to see that this Texans team is in the playoffs. They're probably going to be a first round elimination, more than likely the way it's going. Ravens, though, big win for them.
Yeah, well, Houston was never in this game. Their offense scored 0 points. The only points they got was a safety. I am scared, Eli, to watch that potential first-round matchup between the Texans and the Steelers. Oh, what a rough game that's going to be.
It's on Peacock or Prime Video.
No. Hopefully they put it on Monday Night Football, so we don't have to watch it because we'll be doing a basketball game that night. So hopefully they just do it then, so we don't have to watch it because, man, oh man, that's going to be a horrible game. But
I just want to point out real quick. There's Peacock and Prime Video that have the wild card. If I'm not mistaken, Peacock still has it.
Only Prime Video this year. Peacock
only Prime Video.
Year. Only Prime Video. Prime Video, CBS has 2, Fox has 2, and then ESPN should have 1. And then that should be it for this.
NBC, I think, has 1.
They have 2. Actually, that's what I mean. See, NBC should have 2. CBS and Fox should both have 1. ESPN will have 1. And then
Prime Video has the other.
Yeah.
All right, well,
my bad.
You heard it from here. Bottom line, though, is hopefully it's on Prime Video where nobody can watch it.
Please, that would be amazing.
And if it is a Peacock game, if there is one, put it on Peacock.
I agree.
Okay. The best game of the week, the Seahawks defeated the Bears in a high-scoring one, 6-3. Only field goals, and what a devastating game. Oh, man, that was horrible to watch. It really was. Seahawks are eliminated playoffs because, well, the Bengals won, and we needed one of the 6 teams to – we need 3 of the 6 teams that were on the list to win, and no, never happened. Therefore, Seattle is eliminated. And yeah, disappointing year for Seattle in terms of the end run. And a couple of bad losses again to the Giants was the biggest one, and that really hurt us at the bottom line.
Eli, I watched this game start to finish. This whole game I watched. I couldn't believe
Did you? Did you
You
go
can
see
call me. You can call me crazy. I don't care. I am crazy. I embrace it.
the Colts game at MetLife, or did you stay home?
I
To see?
stayed home.
Oh, you stayed home. I thought you were
I
gonna go.
did. I did stay home. I did not go to that game. We'll get to that a little bit. I
We'll
have a
get to
lot to
that
say
later. I just
about
wanted to
that.
know because
But
if you watch this start to finish, just
I
gotta
did
know if
not.
you.
But I watched the Seahawks Bears from start to finish. What a rough game. But maybe I don't know if Colts Broncos is the worst Thursday night football game in history anymore. I think this one might have just taken the
Man,
cake.
just beat it.
God bless everyone who watched this game start to finish,
I
including
don't understand
myself.
why it was not flexed.
I don't know either. Oh well.
Moving along.
Yeah. Thank goodness.
Chargers defeat the Patriots in a blowout, 40-7. Nothing more to say. Is Chargers are in the playoffs. Patriots, well, they have right now the number 1 pick in the draft. If it were to end today, and that's because the Giants lost. Shocking enough. And nobody would
No,
have ever thought
the
that.
Giants won.
Giants won. My bad.
Yay, they did. I'm so happy
Okay,
about that. We'll get to that in a little
we'll
bit.
get to that in a second, Jack.
Yes. Okay. Well, I will say, great job by Jim Harbaugh this year. First year head coach. The Chargers coming off one of their worst seasons of the 21st century, and he took them to the playoffs. Justin Herbert's had a great season. The run game's been good. They've got good receivers. Their defense is balling out. This is a really fun team to watch, and I'm excited to see what the Chargers are going to do in the postseason. Now, for the Patriots, Eli, it's going to be interesting to watch if they have the first overall pick because they have their quarterback. Drake May is their future franchise quarterback. He's been playing well. So you wonder that if they have the first pick, do they trade the pick to a team who could use a quarterback? Do they keep it and go with like a Travis Hunter? We'll just have to see what happens. But that's something interesting to watch next week and see if they do end up with the number 1 overall pick.
Absolutely. And we may not have a quarterback going for number 1 if that is the case, and Patriots do get it. Next game on the list. Wow, what a game that was. I was watching it from the fourth quarter on. The Bengals beat the Broncos. Sorry, Bengals beat the Broncos 30-24 in overtime. Joe Burrow magic, and they win the game. Really couldn't believe it. I really thought that San Francisco, not San Francisco, really thought that Denver would get the victory, and yeah.
Wow, this was a crazy game. So much back and forth. Joe Burrow really showed why. Maybe I don't know if you think he should be the MVP, Eli. I don't know if I should too, but I think he has to be in the conversation for it. I know the Bengals are 8-8, but like Joe Burrow he leads the league in passing yards. He leads the league in passing touchdowns. I don't know. I mean, without Joe Burrow, the Bengals would be where would they be? 4-12 maybe. He's the reason why they've won like 4 in a row. Now,
Fair point.
listen. The Bengals are gonna have to make the playoffs if he wants to win MVP. That's the only way he's gonna win. It's not impossible though for them to make it. They just need a couple things to happen this week. But
It's a
he
little
is having a great season. What we can agree on though, Eli, is how good of a game T. Higgins had for the Bengals out there on Saturday. Had 3 receiving touchdowns, over 100 yards receiving. Bengals defense made the big plays in overtime, and it was just a fantastic game, Eli. And the Broncos now, they've had chances to clinch in the last 2 weeks, and they haven't been able to do it. And now they have to win next week in order to make the playoffs. Otherwise, they could be eliminated.
It's likely that they will be eliminated. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, and 100%. Yeah, you could definitely consider Joe Burrow in the conversation for MVP. But because of the losses that they struggled, and again, it was not just Joe Burrow's fault. It was defensively and the whole team combined. I think he may not get it. I think it's possibly going to be Josh Allen. I think he's just had that kind of a year.
It could be Lamar Jackson too.
Could be Jackson. I don't think Jackson's going to get it again. He got it last year.
You never
disappointed in the postseason, so I don't think he's up for consideration. I think it's going to come down to Burrow or Allen, in my opinion, but I think Allen's going to take it home this year.
That's fair.
But Saquon Barkley is also in the conversation, I think, in my opinion. But
well, Saquon's not going to play next week, so I think that really ruins his chances. He's out next week, so I think that's going to really ruin his chances.
Right. Next game, a boring one. Cardinals, they lose to the Rams 13-9. And yeah.
This was a boring game, Eli. You got that right. And I watched this whole game too. But
why do you watch the NFC West from start to finish? I don't understand this.
I don't know, Eli. I really don't.
Did you want to just switch teams, Jack?
No. I will say though, Eli, how about the Rams defense the last 3 weeks? They've allowed 10 points or less in each of their last 3 games. That defense is unbelievable, what they're doing. And even though the offense has really struggled, Eli, since the Bills game, the Rams are the NFC North champs. They're going to be a dangerous team in the playoff. West, my bad. See, we're both a little slow today.
No, it's New Year's.
We're still on holiday time, vacation time. But either way, the Rams are going to be a team that nobody wants to face in the playoffs, and I'm really looking forward to watching them in the postseason. We'll see if their starters play next week or not. I don't really know. We'll have to see, but congratulations to the Rams. Once again, the NFC West champs, and after a 1-4 start, too, they were able to pull it
That is
off.
true. And next game, we're going to talk about the Giants
Beat the
defeated
Colts.
the Colts. Are you wearing a Giant shirt?
What?
You wearing a Giant shirt?
No, I'm just wearing a blue shirt.
It says the Giants logo on it.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
I even realized. Like this is just like one of my.
Is that a
just
Giant shirt?
Just one of my plain T-shirts. I didn't realize it was Giants, but hey, that's right. The Giants did beat the Colts on Sunday.
What a bandwagon!
And I was rooting for the Giants too. So even though I picked the Colts, I was rooting for the Giants to win.
Bandwagon.
I would need minutes to. I will explain this, but go ahead, finish your thoughts, Eli, and then I'll explain.
Giants defeated the Colts. Giants defeated the Colts 45-33. I got the upset right. Jack got it wrong for Survivor, and I got to hear the rant. I don't want. There's no further I have to say. Sit back, relax, and rant away.
Well, Eli, we'll start off with this. If you want to know why I was rooting for the Giants on Sunday, did you see what Pat McAfee tweeted out after the Colts game ended? Did you see the tweet?
Yes, I did.
Okay, that is the reason why I was rooting for the Giants, because this Colts team are made up of a bunch of soft losers who only care about themselves and their own stats rather than going out and putting a decent product on the field on Sundays. Every single year, these last couple of years, the Colts fail to show up when it matters most. And simply, they just don't show any effort out there. And they look completely unprepared and completely uninterested in a game that they had to win to keep their playoff hopes alive. And, well, good for the Giants that they got the win. But this is just what this Colts team is, Eli. They're just a team of these soft losers. They will never win anything. And the reason why, Eli, I was rooting for the Giants here is because now this gives us a good chance for the entire current Colts regime to be fired. All of them. They all, GM, head coach, defensive coordinator, they all need to be fired. And when they are all fired, Eli, then the Colts will be a good team again, hopefully, because this current regime has built such a losing culture in Indianapolis. You've had many former players, not just McAfee. You've had Robert Mathis. You've had Marlon Jackson. You've had Darius Butler all come out and call the Colts out for this culture that they have built. And it really is a shame, Eli, because the Colts do have some of the best fans in the world. They are so loyal. They lead the league in attendance every year, even if they're not a very good team. But the fans deserve better, Eli. The Colts have just been stuck in mediocrity for the last decade or so. They have not won a division title in 10 years, while every other team in the AFC South has won it twice. In the Chris Ballard era, they have 2 playoff berths, 1 playoff win. And we as Colts fans, we're just sick of the mediocrity. And I promise you, I was not the only Colts fan who was rooting for the Giants on Sunday. There were a ton of them. Because we're all sick and tired of this BS that the organization has given us this last half decade or so. And making the playoffs would do what? We would get blown out in the first round by Buffalo. There was no point in us going to the playoffs, Eli. So I hope I gave you a good explanation, but that is why not only was I rooting for the Giants on Sunday, but I'm happy that they won.
First off, bravo. And is there anything else you like to add?
No, I'm not a bandwagon though, right? I think you've established that because I
think you established it very well. Very well.
Thank you. Thank you.
I take back my words.
And you know what? Congrats on getting the pick, right? Bold pick by you, and it paid off. So congrats on that.
Fantastic rant, by the way. That's up for an Oscar to start 2025 right. By the way, I went 13-3 on picks this week. That's very high for me. 3-0 on LSU. Jack went 12-4 and 1-2 on LSU. Fantastic rant.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Great week for you, Eli. You did a great job with these picks. One of your best weeks of the season.
I know. I just gotta somehow beat you by the end of the season.
It's all right. We still have the postseason.
I know. We gotta somehow.
That's where I made my comeback last year in the postseason. Yeah. So
I know. All right, moving along. Raiders, they defeated the Saints 25-10. Wow, disappointing for New Orleans. And for the Raiders, they want to just hurt their draft positioning, don't they?
Only the Raiders would do this, Eli. Only the Raiders would, the last couple weeks of the season, ruin their draft positioning. And again, I am so sorry to anyone who watched this game because 2 horrible teams playing against each other. And I don't even recall anything that happened other than congratulations to Brock Bowers, who now becomes the all-time leading rookie tight end receiving yards record. He broke Mike Ditka's record that he said, I believe it was 1961 he said it. So congrats to Brock Bowers. He's had a really great rookie season, especially on a bad team like that. That makes it even more impressive. So congrats to Brock Bowers, and I guess congrats to the Raiders on getting another win.
Yeah, it's incredible what the Raiders are doing at the end of the run. And again, more blowout games. I'm here in the 1 o'clock window into the early 4 o'clock window. The Cowboys lose miserably to the Eagles, 41-7. Philadelphia proven to be strong. Dallas, what a disappointing year for them. And there's not much more I could add.
Yeah, Eli. Well, the Eagles, this is a dominating win for them. They clinched the 2 seed in the NFC, so we're not going to see most of their starters play next week. The funniest moment of the game was when Tanner McKee threw his first touchdown to A.J. Brown, and then A.J. Brown chucked the ball into the stands without even realizing. Now, they did get the ball back, but A.J. Brown went and signed his game-worn jersey to the fan who caught the ball. So, lucky day for that fan. But
Yeah, it
great day for
was.
the Eagles. Congrats to Saquon Barkley, 2,000-yard rusher. Only if the Giants had someone like Saquon Barkley to help fuel their offense. Oh, wait.
They did.
They did, and they let him go.
Yeah. Dumbest marketing move ever. And I think Hard Knocks really just hurt the Giants organization more than ever before. It really has. Because if you watched Hard Knocks or if you saw the clips and everything, it's amazing. I think this is a new thing popped up about who should Giants get in the draft. And the son was in the GM's office saying, pick Jaden Daniels. And the guy in the desk just laughed. It was hilarious. I just think it's just how the kid knows more and how dumb this organization has become lately.
I'm excited to talk about Jaden Daniels later.
Which I will be excited to talk about very soon. But first, we're going to talk about how the Bills destroyed the Jets 40-14.
There is nothing to talk about here, Eli. This was a dominated game start to finish. Tyrod Taylor had 2 passing touchdowns, so he should be the starting quarterback next week for the Jets team. But
move along?
Yeah, Eli. Yeah, exactly. Move along. The Bills just dominated, but that was expected.
And another domination. The Buccaneers destroyed the Panthers 48-14, the final score. Tampa Bay, one step closer to potentially locking in a playoff spot. However, the Panthers proved to be the old Panthers that they once were from the beginning.
Yeah, Eli. I mean, listen, I love Baker Mayfield. I love what the Bucs are doing. They are my favorite team in the NFC South, and hopefully they'll win the division. But this was a really good performance by them. Mike Evans did his thing. Mike Evans is just so consistent. Every year he goes out and does the same thing, just balls out. And the Bucs defense had a great game, Eli. And we have to talk about the lucky duck that was on the field.
Oh, absolutely.
During the game. The lucky duck that was on the field, and right after they showed that, the Bucs blocked the punt and returned it for a touchdown. So that
duck is making it is getting a is getting a nice spot on that pirate ship.
It sure is. Oh, that pirate ship is so cool.
It is.
Yeah,
cool.
Eli,
one of the coolest stadiums.
The lucky pirate that probably came from Hillsborough Bay, but hey, it worked out for the Bucs, and they have a win-in situation now in Week 18 to win the NFC South for the 4th straight year.
Incredible. It really is incredible for them. The Jaguars, they defeated the Titans 20-13, the final. The Titans had it, but the Jaguars took care of business.
Well, Eli, it was a pretty good game. Jaguars had a nice performance. How about the rookie receiver, Brian Thomas Jr.? Another good performance from him. He's quietly having a really great rookie season. And the Jaguars have shown they've played a little bit better here in the final stretch of the season, but it's been a lost season. I don't know what Doug Peterson's fate's going to be after the season. We'll just have to see. But pretty ugly game, Eli. It was played in the rain, but Jacksonville was able to come away with the win.
To the 4 o'clock window we go. The Dolphins defeated the Browns 20-3. The Browns, the Dolphins. Hey, they got 20 points.
They did, Eli.
And they couldn't go into playoffs.
Well, the good news for them, Eli, is that even though this game was played in December, it was 60 degrees in Cleveland. Because if it was any colder, they would have lost. The Dolphins don't win in cold weather.
Correct.
So, but hey, they were able to win here, though. Tyler Huntley actually had a pretty solid game against his old team. He was with the Browns during training camp, then they cut him. The Miami defense you got to give credit to the Miami defense. They've done a great job here in the second half of the season, and that's why the Dolphins are still alive in the playoffs, Eli. And a really good performance from them. And I'm looking forward to their game against the Jets in Week 18 because all Miami needs is a Denver loss and for them to beat the Jets, and then they're in. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Exactly.
So for Cincinnati, likely again not happening. For Miami, it's possible.
I think it will happen though.
It's possible.
I think Cincinnati.
Could they win in cold weather? That's the question.
I think there's a real chance Cincinnati gets in, but that's I might have spoiled it for Friday, but we'll get to that on Friday.
Now the 2 seed is Buffalo. Miami would have to travel to Buffalo.
Good luck.
That's I mean, regardless though, Miami just should lose because don't embarrass yourselves in the playoffs against Buffalo.
Unless
a miracle happens. But we'll see.
Let's send Cincinnati to Buffalo instead. That'd be a much better game than Miami Buffalo. All right, let's move on.
Buffalo Denver though would be good.
No, Denver's not very good. They're overrated. Denver's overrated in my
Moving along,
opinion.
Packers, they lose to the Vikings in a close one, 27-25. Unfortunately, it was not that close until the end, but the onside kick didn't work exactly to plan, and yeah, well, that's Cinderella's story.
That's right, Eli. The Vikings are just absolutely dominating right now. I think they're the best team in football right now. They have the most complete roster in the NFL, top to bottom. I mean, did you see the locker room celebration after the game? The team lifting up Sam Darnold and then Kevin O'Connell just standing in the back smiling. What a culture he's built there in Minnesota. Absolutely unbelievable what Minnesota has done. That defense is awesome with Brian Flores, and the Vikings have a chance, Eli, to go really far in the playoffs.
They really do.
Listen, I know you've got the Lions. I know you've got the Eagles. The Packers aren't even bad either. But
you can't consider the Lions. I'll give my reason a little bit later.
Yeah, well, actually, you're right because the Lions are going to lose next week.
No, not. I'm not talking about regular season. I'm saying postseason. Reason why? I'll give my reason why.
Okay.
I'll do it right now.
I do agree with. No, why don't we wait till the postseason? Because we're still in the regular season.
Okay, but the reason why I just want to point out real quick is because of their defense, and we'll talk more about that defense coming up on the Monday night game.
You're right. They have so many injuries there. But either way, Vikings won. It was an awesome game, Eli. And I'm looking forward to that game against the Lions next week, game 272 for NFC North and the top seed in the conference for the playoffs.
It's incredible. It's going to be a great game that will be. The Falcons, they defeated the Commanders defeated the Falcons in overtime, 30-24. Jaden Daniels is Jaden Daniels, and he is in the playoffs. And Eli was right.
You were right, Eli.
I was right all along. Not about winning the division, but I was right that they'll make it to the playoffs.
You were right about that. I was right about the division, but you were right about the Commanders. I think that's more impressive.
Correct.
But either way, Eli, this was one of the best Sunday night games of the entire year. So much back and forth. The Falcons rallying at the end, 2 long fourth down conversions to force overtime. But the Commanders just had a perfect overtime drive. They kept everything safe. They used Jaden Daniels' legs. He had some nice passes. Zach Ertz had a great catch in the end zone to end it. And the Commanders are going to the playoffs for the first time in 4 years. So congratulations to Dan Quinn and the Washington Commanders. Postseason football coming
and
to
under the Commanders'
Maryland.
name.
That's right.
Yeah, pretty impressive. Lions, they defeated the 49ers 40-34. It was a close game, but the Lions pulled up on top. I was really thinking that 49ers are actually going to get a victory here. The way the Lions were playing, the defense was absolutely atrocious for the Lions. Absolutely atrocious. I mean, they did nothing that entire game in terms of stopping the football. That's my biggest concern right now with this Detroit team. That's why I don't think they're going to go far. The offense was pretty good. It was great. But my biggest issue is what is happening with this defense. If we can't stop football, if we're cutting it close to San Francisco, who is not a playoff team this year, then what is going to happen come playoff time? So I'm not too confident with Detroit. Do not have high hopes from them at all. I see them like Buffalo, not making the Super Bowl, potentially second round out, first round out, depending on who they play and where they land. But really, it's impressive to see how this Lions team has really been battling so many injuries and the defense proving they cannot work together.
Well, Eli, this game was way better than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
I said it before the game. The circumstances coming into this game were not what we expected before the season, looking at this game. But the game itself was exactly what we expected the game to be before the season started. Great game, Eli. Lots of back and forth. But ultimately, though, it was those 2 interceptions by Kirby Joseph in the second half that did it for the Lions. Able to pull away and win this game and set up a Week 18 showdown between the Minnesota Vikings, the top seed in the NFC and the NFC North.
All right. Well, the Rose Bowl game is happening. Ohio State's 34-15 right now is your score.
Oh, Oregon's coming back a little bit.
Oregon's coming back. I hope they win.
Probably too late, though.
I hope they win. They're going to win it. They're going to win it.
It's probably too late, though.
I hope they do win it because
I hope they win too, though. Go Ducks.
Go Ducks. Either way, join us on Friday. Time to be announced, probably 2:30, for our Week 18 picks, the final regular season picks of the year. Happy New Year, everyone. We thank you for watching. Go Seahawks. Go Devils. Good night.